Hi everyone, it's Chris, and in this tutorial I will share you a system that will basically turn any video you want into your own video automatically with just one click. So the automation will look into your local hard drive folder, and as soon as the new file appears in there, this automation will just go and it will create new video that will be like a remix of the original video. What that means, it will turn the transcription into new words, but it will kind of keep the meaning of the original transcription, will generate the new audio within the ElevenLabs, and will generate the background images. All of those images will be put in the right time behind generator's voice. There will be custom music, there will be custom subtitles. Here is the original video that looks like this.
Will matter. 2, don't take everything personally. Not everyone thinks about you as much as you do. 3, when you...
And I'm not going to play it even more because I don't want to get copyright strikes. And here is what we achieved with our system with just one click.
11 lessons individuals discover too late in life. First, the less you speak, the more significant your words become. Second, avoid taking everything to heart. Not everyone is as focused on you as you are. Third, when you concentrate on issues, you'll encounter more challenges. When you focus
if you like this kind of result and you want to learn how to make your own custom template that you can use to remix any other original videos, then follow along this tutorial, because you will not only learn to make this exact automation, but you will learn how to make this type of automation, so you can then create your own custom templates at Creatomate and make.com. So hopefully you can come up with your own original twist to this automation. So let's get started. This is a quick walk through the automation. So what's going to happen is it's going to take this video file, it's going to download it and upload it to Google Gemini. I need to use this upload file module. Then once it's processed, it's passing it on to the Google Gemini, the actual LLM. Now this video is going to be analyzed for what you see in the video and for the transcription, the audio. Because Gemini isn't very good at giving us a JSON, I'm basically running the output from Gemini onto ChatGPT, who is very good with spitting out the correct format of the JSON, as you can set it up to actually give you the JSON as well, response format JSON. Unfortunately, you cannot do that with Google Gemini, so we're using that. Information from ChatGPT is going to be put into an array of information that we're going to need to generate new images. So this module here is grabbing information about what's the transcript and what would be the useful images, So the transcript then is going to be passed on to the ElevenLabs. So we're going to make our own voice narrator. That MP3 is going to be uploaded to Google Drive. We're going to grab the share link. We're going to pass it on to transcription. Now, this you might think, well, why are we transcribing the audio if we were the ones that provided the text for, ElevenLabs? And the reason being is we're going to use ChatGPT to actually analyze the audio that we have. So we know exactly how long is the audio, so we can set that length to our final video that we're going to render. And also we're going to get the response format in SRT file. That means that we're going to see the transcript, but we're also going to see the timestamps, so we know which words are when, in our audio. We're then going to ask Claude to actually come up with some prompt ideas for the images that could be set underneath of the transcription. It will give us a properly structured JSON. This is the kind of format you want to use so we can then pass on that information to our Creatomate module, which is the platform we're going to use to render the video. And that will allow us to place the correct timings. So the timings are dynamic, they're not set rigid. This is all going to happen dynamically depending on what your video is and depending on what's the new transcription. So the images are not just set, every time in exactly the same timing, same duration. This is fully dynamic system. Here, the iterator is going to spit out the prompts to Replicate, which is the platform where we are running Flax model. I really like Flax, and once you have set up this module, you will then be able to use any image generation platform you want, because Replicate holds all of them. The reason we're using Iterator is, again, if you're gonna drop a long video, then you're gonna need more images. If you have a really short video, it doesn't make any sense to be creating 10 images. So this is a upside of using this system. My old system, which was very rigid in terms of how many pictures you can use. Okay, so it was always using the same amount of images, which is 12. Since making this video, I've got a little bit better with managing iterators and arrays, and so you don't need to be doing all of that clicking, and we're going to save some money on operations in Make as well. Whenever someone is sharing a automation that looks a bit like this, it means they're probably not very good with using iterators. So that I can say from my own experience. If the Claude decided to produce 4 images because the video was very short, then it's only going to render 4 images, and the time settings will be adjusted accordingly. If the video was really long, then it will spit out more images. And so this is fully flexible system. This is to send the request. This is to give it a time for the image to render. This is to get the image. This one we don't need. And this one, I will tell you what this one is doing when we get there. And all of the image URLs are being put together by the array aggregator that can be passed on to Creatomate. You can start using Creatomate for free, so I really recommend this platform, really like it. So in my templates, I've created this template from scratch, but it's really easy. All I've done was just added images and then a little animation. If you look at the frame, you can see it's kind of zooming in, so the pictures are moving slightly. But the template is really easy to make. I'll share this with you. So I've labeled this motivation. I'm trying to start using those little arrows. I see people use them a lot, but I always forget about them. So what's going to happen is once the video is fully rendered, then you will see the URL and download that video to our local drive, or we can upload it to all of the social media and YouTube. This is a brief walkthrough, and let's start making it, shall we? Okay, so open a new scenario like this, and you can use Google Drive if you want to. It's got the same functions as Dropbox. So I'm going to choose watch files, meaning that whenever we download the new video file, it will pick it up from our drive. In your Dropbox, you want to create a new folder for this. I called mine Remix This Now. Once you've created the folder in the Dropbox, you're gonna choose it from here and just change limit to 1, hit save. Click all, save. Now what you want to do is pick this file up by saying download the folder, meaning take it from Dropbox. The file path will be the path lower from the previous module, and then click save. Now you want to pass it on to Google Gemini, and you want to choose the upload a file module, and you can map it from the previous module. Now we are going to add a sleep module because the uploaded file needs like few seconds for processing. We can do 7 seconds, I think. We can get Google Gemini to analyze our video. So create completion. For the AI model, for now I'm using 2.0 Flash experimental, and our messages, the first one, it's going to be role user, and the message type is going to be a file. So you're giving the file first. Meme type, just use that. It's basically the type of the file, just map it from the previous module. And so the file URL, just map it from there. Click save. And yeah, and you want to actually add the prompt as well. Kind of important, keep forgetting. You want to say to it, analyze this video get me the transcript and get the full length of the video and kind of just understand the content. But the transcription is the most important thing. So this is what we really need. So just put text, and your text will be get a transcript from the video, and get a transcript from the video and understand what the video about. If there are any B-roll type graphics or videos within it, then list the information about that too. If it's a talking head style video like a podcast, then we only need transcription. Your output must be JSON format only. One object within the JSON will be the description, and the key name is always trans. The second object is extra information. Both objects are string objects. Don't worry if you don't understand. I will let you copy that prompt from the link in the below. You can just copy that just from the description. Give me the JSON output only, no extra comments or JSON marks. Now, even though we say to it, give me just the JSON without anything before or after JSON, it's still going to be a little bit naughty and just going to add comments now and then or do those little JSON opening marks. We're going to press save. And that's the reason why we're also using ChatGPT. We're now going to just use the standard prompt creation. And for the model, I'm going to choose 4.0. It's a user, and I'm just going to say, take this text and present it to me as JSON code. Opening, and just map the result from the previous module from Google. Now, we're not going to trust ChatGPT. We're still going to force it to output JSON format by selecting the advanced settings. And what you can do is say to it, response format, JSON object, make sure you select yes to parse JSON and hit OK. That way we'll be able to map the information from Google Gemini. Once you've made this ChatGPT, you want to open it, and I'm going to copy the prompt from my already finished one, so I don't need to type it again, but I'm still going to show it to you, and I will let you copy it from below as well. Next, we're going to make ElevenLabs module. You want to create a speech synthesis. If you've never used it, you're going to make a connection, and you're going to just paste in your API key that you can get from your ElevenLabs account. It's really easy. It's in your settings, so just grab it from there. You're then going to be able to pick the voice that you want to use. Let's go with Edward Gentle Giant 11 Multilingual 2. Okay, and the text is, we're going to map the text from ChatGPT, but we need to run it first before we can actually properly map it. So this mapping is incorrect. I'm only going to save it for now. It's time to give it a quick test. If you want to download video from YouTube, just go and search YouTube download, and there are plenty of sites that will just allow you to paste link and download the video to your computer hard drive. So you want to install the Dropbox desktop app. So it's basically looking into your local hard drive folder, and it will upload it straight to the cloud instantly. And I have just put one video in there already. So I'm just going to press run once and see what happens. As you can see, it has picked up one MP4 file. It has passed it on to Google Gemini. It is now sleeping for 7 seconds, and now it's being analyzed. We've got our transcription and we've got some extra information. Okay, now ChatGPT has given us a nice collection, and as you can see, the content is actually being put as one thing. So we might need to say to it, okay, the role was assistant as well, so that's not good. Hold on. No, it is user. Make sure that I think that he has put those two objects into the array, which isn't convenient. I'm just going to quickly look. Now this is a collection content. I wanted those two to be separate, really. What about now? It is separate. Okay, so transcription and extra information. So that's good. This is what we needed. So now go to ElevenLabs and you can click again. And as you can see, we've got the transcription separate from extra information. So just tag the transcription. Now, this is a good place to say, if you were trying to pass on the same information, but in your own kind of style or words, you can say, change transcription a bit to say the same thing in another words. Or so this is a good place to put your custom prompt if you wanted to. Actually, you know what? Let's try it. Change the description a bit so it's different words, but the meaning and style remains the same. The reason I'm saying the style remains the same is because I'm using like a motivational videos, and I don't think if you change the style a lot it will be as good. So I'm just keeping the style and the meaning, but saying to it, put it into another words and see if that works. If not, we'll just delete that part and we'll go back to the roots. So now I'm really sure this is just going to work. So let's carry on with another module, and we will now upload the output to Google Drive. Create new folder. No. Okay, in your Google Drive, again, you can go and make a custom folder. I've made one already, so I'm just going to upload a file, just map it from ElevenLabs, and for the folder, I'm going to select it from the list, Remix Video Assets. This is my folder. Now I'm going to get a share link and just map the file ID from the module before. Make sure the type is set to anyone. This will allow to use that share link Creatomate so we can actually put it into the video. Okay, so next we are now going to transcribe the audio from ElevenLabs, and we are going to choose the response formats as SRT so we get all those timestamps. Transcribe this audio and create many timestamps as possible. And that's it. We don't want Whisper to do anything else. And I like to be using Claude as a brain for this kind of job. So let's go ahead and choose Claude, and we're going to give it 2000 tokens. Let's go to user, let's go content. For type, just select text, and I'm going to copy my prompt, and it's here. This is the prompt we've got. All right, let's just copy it and put it in here. So this is the prompt. You will be given a transcription with timestamps. Based on the transcription, create prompts that will be used to generate images. So we are now asking it to have a look at those timestamps, come up with some kind of B-roll type of images, and give us the proper prompt so we can use those prompts to generate those images. And there are a few rules to that. Those images will have to cover the entire length of the video. So we are not only asking the Claude to generate the image ideas, but also to work out the timings for those images in reference to the transcriptions that we're doing. So for each image, provide detailed cinematic prompt, include timing information for Creatomate using exact decimal points like 7.5 or 8.3 seconds. That's just because if I don't say it, use decimal points, it will try to stick to round numbers. And Creatomate can handle few decimal points after the point. So yeah, so this is that. And here is the expected JSON format. So we get the image one, so the image I like a name, and then we've got the prompt. And we also have the Creatomate timings within this array. This is how you want to present an array of extra modification to Creatomate. Well, this is really important, the format of it. It took me a while to work this out, but yeah. So feel free to copy that, or just, I don't know, I guess you could just ask Claude to produce you this type of prompt, and this is what I did, and just paste it in here, or just type it in. Again, do not add any comments and JSON marks. I need JSON code only. Here is the transcription with the timestamps, and just map the output from Whisper. Save. Now, of course, it's going to give us a text that looks like a JSON, but we need to actually turn it into the JSON. So for that, we're going to parse JSON. So search for JSON and choose parse JSON. We're going to take that example code from within the prompt, copy it, Ctrl+C, Command+C, save, and just go ahead and generate here the sample data, generate, and click save. Now map the string, there will be a text response, and click save. Okay, so let's just save those modules with the red number a few times, and let's give it another go. I'm gonna make sure that the start is all and hit run. So this is just going to refresh our automation a bit. And once we have parsed the JSON, we'll then work out the timings, and you start with sending it off to the Replicate website. So if you look at the output of the Whisper, you can say we've got our transcription, but it's also giving us a nice timestamps as well. Then Claude has looked into those timestamps and gave us this response. So this is image name, this is the prompt for it, and these are the timings. So when is the start time? And what is the image duration? So 3.5. Yep. So this is all good. Now we have parsed this into the JSON, and we have now an array of prompts. Okay, so we now want to send those one by one. And to do that, we're going to use the infamous iterator that is so difficult for everyone to get grasp of when they first start with Make.com. So all you do is you just map the images array like that. Yeah, and you need to now put the HTTP make a request module. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to be lazy, and I've spent 4 hours yesterday recording this video, but I was recording live. Now I'm remaking this, but yesterday I was actually making this. There was a lot of trial and error, and like adding modules and removing them back and adding, and I thought, oh, this will be really good for people to watch because they see the process. And then when I finished recording, I said no one's gonna watch it. So I'm playing safe, and I'm giving you the solution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sneaky cheeky, and I'm just going to copy those modules. Don't worry, I'm going to show you what's inside, and just paste it here. So this one is obviously the same, so I'm just going to delete it and connect it here. Now, so make a request HTTP module is what you want to put is this URL. I'm going to show you how you find it in the Replicate. Now, the reason I really like Replicate is because there is no subscription. You only pay for what you use, so it's really cheap if you compare it to other subscription sites. And it basically, the models that they provide you are literally like all the possible image and video generators, and also LLMs, as you can see. They've got the DeepSeek R1, LLM, the Claude, but also they've got Minimax. They've got everything for generating video or just to generate images. And I like using Flux a lot. Once you find the model that you would like to use, you can click on it and copy that URL. And then when you go to your playground, you want to do manage models in here, and you can just paste that URL, hit enter, and it will add to your list. But I have added this one already, so it doesn't let me. But this is how you do it. I'm going to choose a black forest, and I'll be using it to produce my images. Now the URL you want is, if you go to P and then click on HTTP, and then you can copy that link from here. So if you've used different model, this URL would be a little bit different, but rest of the settings will be the same. So let's go back to our automation. So if you click on it again, this goes here. Now the method is post. What you want to do is for the headers, you want to put authorization, and if you've done the API calls before, it's all here. Now, so header, authorization, and in the value you want to put a bearer and replicate API token, which you can generate in your settings. I've done it already, so my bearer is here, and I'm just blurring out my code because I don't want anyone to be using it, and I can be asked to regenerate it. Now the name is content type for the second item in your header, and just put value application/JSON, and for the body type put row content type JSON. And now request content. Again, you can, this is all of the settings for the model. Feel free to just copy it from me or just pause the video and type it if you've got time for that. Prompt 46. So the prompt that we want is coming from here, from iterator. So just map that and click save. Now the delay, the Flux model is really quick, dev one. So I'm only giving it 7 seconds for each of the image to be generated. And now we need to grab it. We are going to grab it from the data URL. The problem with mapping things in Make, when you're mapping, sometimes you cannot map things that have not been run first. This is the correct mapping, so you're actually going to copy this and show it in the notepad. This is what it looks like behind. If you actually copy it and delete that and paste it, then this is what you need. And the number 15 is the number of the module that you're mapping to. Okay, so mine is 15. Put whatever yours is in a notepad like that and just put data.get. Okay, if you have run this once, then you'll be able to map it. But so the method is get. Authorization again for the header is exactly the same as the one we just did. So header, just put authorization and bearer. Okay, save. Now I need to drink coffee. Oh, I love coffee. What's next? Now this module will provide us with the download URL for the image. Okay, but now I'm also going to put increment function. This is funny little module. Set it up to after one cycle. All it does is just outputs number 1, and when there is another automation going through it, it just adds one more. So it's going to be 2. It shows you how many times things have been run through this particular part of automation, and we're going to need it. I'm actually improving this automation a little bit to what I just have had, but yeah, we're now going to add array aggregator. Now if you think the iterator will be spitting out those prompts for the images one by one, all from that array. Now, if we don't put array aggregator, something to catch all of those outputs into one place, the whole automation, anything that's behind the iterator, like this way, to the right, where's my arrow, carry on spitting out all of those images and numbers, and anything that you use, all those modules will be run many times until all the items from the iterator are finished. So we need to catch them all like Pokemons into the array aggregator. So just select it and the source module, choose iterator. Now the target type structure will be Creatomate, but we haven't made that module yet, so you can't see anything. Don't worry about that, we'll get back to it later. So I think it's time to give it a go to refresh things. So again, I'm just going to quickly choose where to start to all and save and hit run once. So this is running now, and as you can see, we've got our transcription. Claude has come up with some cool ideas for the prompts, and iterator is now sending one by one to replicates to create those lovely images. And yeah, it's finished. It produced 3 images this time. So very short video, by the way, that's why it's only 3 images. Now we can actually map things. If you can, okay, do you know what? Because we cannot put the target structure type yet, don't worry about this array aggregator just yet. Just select anything really, and we'll get back to it later. Hit save. Trust me, it's going to work. So now we're going to do a cool trick that I'm proud to say that I invented myself with a little brainstorming with ChatGPT, of course, but it was my idea. Basically, we need to know how long the audio is, but ElevenLabs is not being very nice to us, and it's not giving us the length of the audio that it has produced for us. Luckily, they are at least giving us a file size here. Yes, I've used the arrows. So that's really good. So we're going to take this file size, and we know for the fact that this MP3 is 128 kilobits per second. Now, because I'm a music producer by a trade, I know how to work this out. What we're going to do is we're going to set variable, and we're going to call it change to kilobits or kilobytes, can't remember. And the variable value is going to be the size of the MP3 from the ElevenLabs outputs, and we're going to multiply it by 8. So turning bytes to kilobytes or bits to, can't remember which one, but anyway, it's going to work. Now, if you want to know how long it is in a seconds, what you want to do is take that information and you want to divide it, and you probably want to use this function operator division by 128, and this is now rate time in seconds. Hit save. So this module will work out the file length, and if we just copy that file size now, we can probably just run this on its own, provide the file size, and it's giving us this output. So we're going to copy that as well quickly, and we're going to run this module only and provide that number. So we know that our audio is 17.86 seconds. Really good. Now let's carry on. So where are we at? Let me quickly look what was next. Not this one. Final time. Yes. Now, of course, we want to pass this time onto the Creatomate, okay? And we're going to turn it into the array. It looks a little bit silly, but I'm still going to do this. Just choose Array Aggregator, select Narrator Time, and choose the set variable, the first one on the top. So this one, 21. Hit save. We're still gonna have to change it in a second. And the way if you know a little bit about Mac.com, you're probably thinking I'm a little bit stupid doing things this way. Maybe I am a little bit in terms of setting up the arrays, but it's going to make sense in a second. Trust me. So we're going to call this final time, okay? And the reason we're turning this into the array is because that's the way we are going to pass on the information to Creatomate. So we are now also going to parse JSON, and sorry, this one is about parsing. Yeah, that's correct. You know what? We're just going to copy this one. So clone it, right click on this, and we will put it in here. So delete that, put it in here. So what we're doing is we're taking that JSON from Claude again, and we're going to retrieve the information again from it. And the reason for that is we need, basically this one is, it gives us the prompts for the images, but it also gives us the times for the images where they should be placed. Now those times need to be turned into the array, and the array aggregator cannot, if you see this little shadow, it wraps the things that it's using to aggregate, and I want this another array to wrap the information from that JSON, and I cannot do it because it's, you know, far away. And now I cannot put the array aggregator over here because once it's wrapped that JSON into its shadow of influence, we'll then not be able to use it with the iterator. So that's the reason I'm cloning it, if you wonder why. If it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, just follow the steps and trust the process. Array aggregator again. Source module is just that one, and hit save. Okay, so, oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. Sorry. Delete that. No, don't delete that. Just, yeah, delete that. Okay, if you think this JSON will spit out an array, Okay, and for some reason I cannot, it didn't work properly the other way, so I'm using iterator again here, and we're going to map the array from, this time not the images but the Creatomate timings for the images. Okay, and now we're going to put our array aggregator, and we're going to select source module iterator and just select save, and let's rename that to timings for images. Now we want to create our last piece, which is the Creatomate module, and choose render a template. Template ID, just when you make your connection, okay, and this is how you do it if you've never done it before. You can open a new account at Creatomate, and you'll then end up in here when you go to the app. You're probably going to see just the default project, so you can experiment with their templates, but I like making my own, and I've made many, including the quiz template and fake text messaging and Reddit story. I've done it all and it works. So here I'm going to choose my motivation video, but it's going to work for anything. Now, as I said before, all I did is I've put some images, I've uploaded background music, really easy, just do it here. And it's called motivation, okay? So if you want to grab, if you're making the connection for the first time, you want to go to your project and then click those three dots and go to project settings and scroll down, and you'll find your token in here. So copy that token. You'll be asked to provide it in here if you're making it for the first time. So you're just going to paste that up here, and then you will have the connection established, and then you'll be able to browse for your templates. Just make sure you select the correct project as well. So this is motivation template. Now it's asking us to provide the URL to the audio for the narrator to say. And the reason and the way you do it is, whatever you are making in Creatomate, you can select it. If you select it, this is a background music that I've uploaded straight to the template, and I've also placed audio placeholder, and I selected the source as ticked. So that means that it's dynamic and it's expecting us to provide that URL for that audio. So whatever you want to provide to Creatomate template, you want to select it to as dynamic. Now, if you look at any of my images here, if I select it as dynamic and then go back to our automation and then click again, let's quickly refresh it. Now it's asking us to provide a narrator URL and also the URL for the image. Now you might be thinking, yes, that's the whole idea, so you should select all of them to be dynamic. Yes and no, this is what I used to do a lot, and trust me, I've got to the point where I was mapping in one module. I've actually counted it. At one point I've mapped 150 fields manually for some of those. I think it could have been this one. Where is it? So if I open this one, have a look at this. There's so much clicking, and that wasn't all, and that wasn't the worst one. So there is an easier way of doing this, and it took me a while to work this out because there's no tutorial for that anywhere. So what you want to do is select motivation. Don't worry about if you have just one thing that you want to set as dynamic because that will be just one off thing, then yeah, go ahead and do that. But what I like doing is using the advanced settings. And then what you want to do is turn the extra modifications. Now, click map, and we'll be putting our arrays here. So we basically taking all the information about what is the URL for the image, what is the timing, taking what's the duration of the image, how long it should last in your video, and when it should start, anything. You can put it into the array and just throw it into extra modifications, providing that you keep the correct structure and format of that array. And this is the point where we actually going back to our arrays. And I told you that we will get back to here. Now, because the Creatomate is connected, you can now select the extra modification structure type. So go ahead and do that. Now your attribute is going to be attribute, and your value is going to be value if you have mapped everything like you should have. Now let's go back our final time. Again, change the structure type, attribute. Okay, attribute here is going to be duration, and the value is going to be this. So 17.8 seconds in this time, but it will calculate it every time. Now let's move back and select structure type to extra modifications, attribute. Let's do, what should we do? Okay, yeah. So this one is for providing the URLs. So let's change the naming for it. Image URLs. And again, structure type, extra modifications, attribute. Now, this is very important. So whatever you decided in your Creatomate folder, okay, image 1, if you look at the source editor, you've got all of your attribute here. Now, if we choose URL and we type just anything, you will see that you have an attribute called source, okay? That's your source, that's your attribute, and this is your value. Okay, and it works like this with anything in Creatomate. If you wanted to change a color overlay, you could do that in make.com and just type attribute color overlay, and then value would be this. Now you need to refer to which color overlay you want to change for which of the images. So this is how you do it. Just gonna remove that quickly. Okay, so you want to put image. Now, which image? Is it image 1, image 2, image 3? Here is where our increment function comes in. We're going to say image, whatever the image we are working on. And then just put image 1, that source. So that's your attribute. And then the value, okay, is the actual URL, which you can grab from here. And just hit save. Now, if we go to... So that should be okay. I'm just going to have a look. This is what I did. Yeah, I've got it right. So are we ready for the final run? Let's try it. So let's change where to start from and just hit run. Okay, so this time it's making 5 images. I wonder if it changed our transcription. This one, input, message, that's the transcription, and the output. There's an old adage that you cannot open a new page in your life if you keep reading the previous one. There is a saying that you can't start. So you see, it's basically saying the same things in other words. So it's like a remix. Now, we haven't utilized this extra information. I'm going to stick it into the Claude and say, when you're working out your prompts for the images, bear in mind, this is the kind of extra information. This is the reference. This is what Gemini sees in our original video. We're going to stick that into here as well for the next run. Yeah, about here. Also, this is for your reference, original video extra information. And then just map it. Extra information and closed. So I wonder if it's going to improve our image generation. Let's have a look at the original video that we have.
There's a saying that you can't start a new chapter in your life if you continue to reread the last one. So may the road ahead of you be filled with action, not hope.
So here is the download link for the video. I've watched the whole thing and it's just black 3 minutes with music. Okay, and the reason for that is because we forgot to add extra modifications. I only said we would do it, but we didn't do it. So this is how you do it. This is your array and you want to merge those arrays. So the way you do it is you just type in merge function and open bracket. Now click the first array. This is to set all the timings for our images. Then semicolon and put another array. This is our final time, final duration. Another one. Here, this is our URLs that we are going to use. And that's it. So close brackets. And narrator, of course, it's the MP3 from the ElevenLabs. So ElevenLabs upload it here. And then The share link is your web content link. Save now, and this is it. I believe we are finished now. So a big final time to try. So choose where to start, all, save, and go. Video version 2.0. So Creatomate is now rendering image URLs. Here are our prompts. I don't think this time it is done only 3 images. Yeah, so very interesting. Okay, outputs. So let's watch it together.
There's a popular saying that insists you can't start a new chapter in life if you keep revisiting the previous one. Let your journey be filled with actions, not mere hopes, passion, not just duties, and achievements, not just blueprints. You might end up falling in love with the destinations it brings you to.
Yeah, oh, I like it. I wonder why there is a little bit of an empty space at the end, and I think I know why. We are working out the final time on the basis of the audio from the ElevenLabs, which is fine because the video finished rendering right after the narrator stops speaking, and this is okay. I'm going to change the model to 3.5 sonnets. I always use it. I think for the job it's a little bit better, I think, than haiku. So yeah, I think there was just like a 1 second of an empty space. I don't think there should be a reason to worry about that. Let's try another video. Let's actually pick it up manually, the other one. 1 to 3. I think this is a crazy David Goggins speaking. Let's watch the original first. Oh no, that's something else. Okay, but let's just watch it. This is the original.
11 things people learn too late in life. 1. The less you say, the more your words will matter. 2. Don't take everything personally.
Okay, so you get the idea. That's the kind of the video that we're putting into the system, and let's now see what is spitting it out. Let's run. Okay, so our system is working out through the images now, generating them, and let's have a look into the FluxDev again. I believe the rendering one image at using replicate and FluxDev model was something like, oh, there we go, 0.025. So 1/4 cent. No, sorry, 2 cents. 2.5 cents of. So you can generate 2 of those images and that will cost you 5 cents. So pretty cheap, I would say. The other that we are using here, you can get away using them for free to start with, especially the Gemini, that's free. ChatGPT, you can top it up for $2 or $5 and that will last you a few months. ElevenLabs, you can start using it free. And yeah, this is really cheap, no subscriptions, the replicate. So you only pay it once you've used some of the, I think you need to link your credit cards and then they will only charge you once you've hit a certain threshold. But again, you can produce a lot of images before you need to actually pay it. And then Creatomate's got a free plan as well that you can start with. And then if you need more credits, you can jump on to a paid subscription. I'm on one of their paid subscription and it works me out something like 10 cents per 1 minute of rendering or something. So really cheap. And knowing that most of my videos are actually going to be less than 30 seconds long, I could say that this system can produce you those videos either for free or as low as 5 cents up to 10 cents. So I think this is pretty cool. So our video is finished. So let's watch it together. Copy that link. Again, that link could have been passed on to YouTube and that could be just up and published live already.
11 lessons individuals discover too late in life. First, the less you speak, the more significant your words become. Second, avoid taking everything to heart. Not everyone is as focused on you as you are. Third, when you concentrate on issues, you'll encounter more challenges. When you focus on potential, you'll uncover more chances. Fourth, regardless of how painful it is now, one day you'll look back and see how your struggle improved your life. Fifth, you encounter people for a purpose. Either they are meant to transform your life, or you are meant to change theirs. Sixth, never hesitate to explore something new. Life becomes dull when you begin to overlook the things you lack. Ninth, if you cannot govern your speech, You cannot govern your future. 10th, life is like a mirror reflecting back to the thinker the thoughts put into it.
Okay, so pretty good. 2 issues here. I think the music is too loud and it's too short, but that's not a problem. That's an easy fix. All you do is go to the background music placeholder and just upload different track, which is what you would do anyway. And if you want to bring the volume down, mine was at 50%. Maybe we could just put it down to 20%. But what do you think about the images? I thought they were really cool. What I'm going to do is select all of the images like that without selecting the animations, so only images. And I'm going to scroll down, and whenever you've got all of them selected, when you're making some changes, it's going to affect all of the items that you have selected. So as you can see, I've got the color overlay, which makes the subtitles to stand out. So the images are just like dull and dark, which is something that I wanted to achieve. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the opacity to even like 35%, so up a notch. So the pictures in the background will be even more darker. Also, for the transcriptions titles, I wonder how we can make them bigger as well. Yeah, we could do that. Alright, so you can change the sizing of your transcription titles to your preference. So I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger. Actually, this settings here, it means the font will be auto-sized to fit the placeholder. So if you've got more words, they will just be smaller to fit this. You can change the color for the font in here if you want to. You can make it whatever you want. Cool trick is you can make your shadow color white and it will look as if it was glowing. Quite a common style these days. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you want more tutorials like this one. I'm only starting, so let me know if I could improve on or anything. I'm really tired today, so my English wasn't very good as it can be. But yeah, feel free to download the free resources from the link in the description, and hopefully you enjoyed this automation yourself. Yeah, so thank you for that, and until the next one. Bye.